We shall be briefing you on exactly what is happening around you. The show is the Daily Brief right here at K24 TV, and my name is Samuel Njoroge.
And of course, a very good morning to you. I'm Shiksha Arora with you. Right, remember, we're going to be covering a myriad of live events. We're also going to be telling you what the latest is and what you expect in today's news diary. What's going to be making headlines. We've got all that covered for you. So all you need to do is stick right here on K24 Daily Brief. Remember, keep interacting with us. Hashtag K24 Daily Brief is where you're going to find us. And of course, let's make this show interactive till 12 p.m.
Absolutely. And talking about the diary, here is what we are following up for you right about now, where Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Fred Matiang'i, accompanied by Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho, Inspector General of Police Hilary Mtiambai, Director of Criminal Investigations George Kinoti, and Director of Public Prosecutions Nurdin Haji, will this morning unveil a state-of-the-art 3,500 XL genetic analyzer at the Government Chemist Department headquarters next to the Kenyatta National Hospital.
All right, apart from that, we also have another story that's going to be trending and making headlines today, where West Pokot Deputy Governor, a petitioner, has filed an application before the Devolution Committee challenging the prolonged absence of the West Pokot Deputy Governor, Dr. Nicholas Awondu, from West Pokot. Now, the petitioner will be appearing before the committee this morning at 11 to seek clarification on the continued stay outside the country by Atudon Yang, who is the Governor Professor John Lonyangapuo. Now, Atudon Yang is based in the US and is rarely seen in West Pokot.
Absolutely. And talking about counties, still from the counties, that is the devolved units, where Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua is this morning officially opening the Machakos Cancer and Research Facility at the Machakos Level 5 Hospital. The center is the first of its kind by a county government and will offer free pathology, laboratory and chemotherapy services. Governor Mutua says the county has hired a team of oncologists and other specialists to serve at the facility.
Right, of course, and that is some fantastic news there, especially for those who are in the county. Good news for residents there. Now, moving on, the National Assembly's Sports, Culture and Tourism Committee is on a 2-day retreat at the Hilton Garden Hotel in Nairobi to deliberate on the Gaming Bill 2019, which seeks to regulate betting and gaming activities. Now, Cabinet Secretaries Fred Matiang'i of Interior, Joe Mucheru of ICT and Treasury's Ukur Yatani are expected to give their input to the bill this morning at the same venue.
Now, elsewhere is that the National Population and Housing Census is still ongoing, and in the course of the show we shall be getting an update from our reporters. Remember, the head count, which kicked off on Saturday, faced some challenges with many urban dwellers yet to be enumerated. The exercise comes to an end this Saturday, the 31st of August.
All right, of course, and that's pretty much what's going to be trending, what's going to be making the top stories of the day throughout the day. So yes, do be expecting that and a lot more.
Absolutely, that and much more is definitely coming your way. Remember too, yesterday, courtesy of a press conference that we were able to get from the Kenya National Union of Teachers, today we expect to see whether or not Wilson Sossion will be ousted out of a NAT. Yesterday he had quite a lot to say about it, but then again we've got our team on the ground that will be briefing us on this particular story, where the Kenya National Union of Teachers headquarters right here along Nairobi's within the city's capital, or the country's capital, is one of those things that we shall be following up for you right here today.
Of course, so yes, keep interacting with us and tell us your thoughts on some of these stories. Remember, later on during the show, we'll also be catching up with the correspondents in the different counties who will be giving us an update from their respective counties regarding what's happening today and what's the absolute latest. Absolutely,
and talking about what is latest, in just a short while, we shall be crossing over to our reporters. We shall be looking at the updates that we are getting from our reporters across the 47 regions. We're talking about what is happening right about now. We would like to understand that from our correspondents across the 47 regions in the country, and they will be telling us from a news diary point of view what exactly we can expect from various regions. And I believe kicking us off is Fred Kai, Mombasa County.
Yes, of course. Very good morning to you, Fred Kai. What is happening where you are in Mombasa County? Maybe you can get us up to speed with the latest and what to expect today. All right, we apologize for that technical issue with the sound. We'll try and get back to him as soon as possible so that he can update us on the latest from Mombasa County. Now, remember, you can share your input with us on our social media handles at hashtag K24 Daily Brief. Tell us what's happening where you are. And of course, we'll also be discussing that from you. It's better that it comes from you, from the viewer, so that we can actually interact right here at K24 TV.
Citizen journalism.
Of course,
and we appreciate that right here on the Daily Brief. And as we told you, we shall be beginning by interacting with our reporters across the 47 regions, and they will be in a position to tell us too what exactly is guiding the news diary from the respective regions. We apologize for that feed that we had earlier on where we couldn't exactly get what Fred was saying, but we shall be interacting with him in the course of this particular show. So crossing over to various counties and having them tell us exactly what will be happening from their end. For now, we bring in Timothy Simwa, who's joining us live from Uasin Gishu County. He has an update on what exactly has been happening from this region. Good morning, Tim, and thank you so much for joining us. We're made to understand that the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital suffered a blackout yesterday night.
Yeah, good morning to you, Samuel Njoroge from our studios. And straight to your question on whether or not the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, the second, of course, largest referral facility in the country, whether it suffered a blackout or not, we can confirm to you that indeed there was a blackout. And having talked to, some of the staff who didn't want to be mentioned or rather be captured on camera, they say that there was a blackout that lasted at least for not less than 2 hours at the facility, and this might have affected sections that actually deals with emergencies, the casualty section, sections like the theater and the intensive care unit. We understand that these are very critical departments within that facility. And of course, later on, it was restored. We also made to understand that perhaps the standby generators failed to, come in as the alternative source of power during that incident. But we also went ahead to contact the Chief Executive Officer of MTRH, that's Dr. Wilson Arwasa, this morning, and he categorically said that there was, of course, he confirmed that there was indeed a power blackout, but however, denied the time that has been, been spreading around, that it was at least not less than 3 hours. Maybe you'll also allow me just to quote his words, according to what he told me this morning when I contacted him and asked him about that particular incident. This was his words, and I quote some. Hey, Simwa, there was a KPLC power blackout, yes. MTRH generator came in within reasonable time. The rest is cheap propaganda by one Sato Lemiso, a keyboard warrior who manufactures and spreads cheap propaganda. I think you shouldn't follow the things raised by such characters. Those were the words of the CEO at the MTRH, that's Dr. Wilson Arwasa, saying that perhaps there is a section of people who are hell-bent on spreading rumors that might not be true, while confirming that indeed there was a blackout, but of course refuting claims that it lasted for more than 3 hours. So also he did confirm that there was no incident. This is to mean that maybe a death resulting as a reason, as a result of the blackout that happened yesterday. So there was no incident that was recorded following that particular blackout. But nevertheless, there have been concerns that maybe perhaps the MTRH should have a special line that supplies power to that particular facility, understanding that these are very critical facility that serves even neighboring countries, apart from serving the larger Rift Valley and western part of this country. But maybe going forward, we'll also be engaging the CEO just to, get to tell us exactly whether or not they have a special line, or KPLC has considered giving them this special line so that in future they can avert such cases. But apart from the issue of the blackout at MTRH, Sam, this morning we also be following up to another issue that is coming up at the county headquarters, and we are told that business people and landowners in Uasin Gishu will be meeting the CEC for lands. This following a proposal by the county to increase land rates in the county. According to one of the people we talked to, did actually mention that the proposed land rates are exorbitantly high, and he says there was no public participation whatsoever during that particular process before this implementation, rather these proposals were made, and we are also told that the proposals are bound to come into effect in the next 1 month. So a short time from now, some will be joining them to get to hear from them. We are also told that the CEC in charge of lands will also be part of that congregation, just to ventilate on some of these issues and get to know what are the concerns of the business people and maybe landowners within Uasin Gishu County. Sam, that's all we got for you from Uasin Gishu. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Timothy Simwa, for that. But maybe a very quick question. Wouldn't it be then, Shiksha, proper to note whether or not this particular facility, that is MTRH, has a backup system like a generator? If there is a power outage in that particular facility, what happens?
Now, that is something that I guess we will have to find out at a later time from Timothy Simwa. But I suppose, and of course, I'm hoping that in the case of a power outage, there's always a plan B, just for those especially who are on life support machines.
That's true. It's standard procedure.
Right, of course, and as we've said that we have been covering, we will be covering as well what's happening around the country. The question is, what is happening where you are? So right now we're going to be getting back to our reporter, that's Fred Kai in Mombasa. And yes, once again, good morning, Fred. What is happening where you are in Mombasa?
Good morning to you, Shiksha and Sam in studio. Na hapa county ya Mombasa ni kwamba zile stories ambazo tunaweza kufuatilia leo ni kwamba Governor Joho anatarajiwa kuweza kufungua ShopRite katika eneo lile la Nyali, na ni juka la jumla ambalo lilikuwa sehemu ile ilikuwa imebaki wazi kwa muda mrefu baada ya supermarket ile ambayo ilikuwa inajulikana kama Nakumatt kuweza kufunganya virago vyako na kuweza kutoka katika kaunti ya Mombasa. Na vile vile kuna history ambayo tunaweza kufuatilia katika kaunti ile ya Kilifi na Tana River, ambapo Raila Omolo Odinga anatarajiwa kufika maeneo yale ama kuzuru ule mradi wa Galana Kulalo, mradi wa chakula, na atazuru eneo lile mnamo kama mwendo wa saa 4 hivi ili kuweza kuona ni yapi ambayo yanajiri katika kaunti hizi mbili za Kilifi na Tana River. Vile vile tuko na mshukiwa aliyekuwa mshukiwa wa ulanguzi wa dawa za kulevya ambao ni mbunge wa kaunti ya Mombasa, anajulikana kama Hamed Salama. Leo anatarajiwa kuongea na wanahabari kuhusu kuandamwa kwake na polisi hata baada ya kuona kwamba mahakama iliweza kumwachilia huru bila kumshtaki ama bila kumfungulia mashtaka yoyote. Na vile vile mwisho basi tutaweza kuona kwamba yule mwanasarakasi ama mtangazaji maarufu wa kituo kimoja hapa nchini ni kwamba anaweza kufikishwa mahakamani, ambao ni Inspector Mwala, anaweza kufikishwa mahakamani mwendo wote kuanzia sasa baada ya kuhusika kwa ajali aliyoweza kumgonga Mkenya katika kaunti ile ya Kilifi, na anaweza kufikishwa mahakamani ili kujibu mashtaka yale ya kuweza kumgonga na kumuua Mkenya yule. Na hizi tu ni baadhi ya story ama ya habari ambayo tunaweza kufuatilia katika kaunti hii ya Mombasa, na tutaweza kujuza mengi ni yapi atajiri kutoka kaunti hii ya Mombasa. Kutoka hapa na kuregesha kwako studio, Sam na Shiksha.
Fred Kai, I don't know if you can hear me, but just a quick question for you. We're just wondering if the enumerators in Kilifi County are back to work. Remember, they had down their tools over unpaid allowances 2 days ago. So what's the situation right now in Kilifi County, if you can give us an update on that? So, Fred Kai, just a quick question to you. Have the enumerators in Kilifi County come back to work? They had down their tools over unpaid allowances. So right now, are they back to work?
Kufikia sasa habari ambazo zimetufikia ni kwamba baada ya baadhi yao kuweza kulipwa zile pesa, kwa sasa kazi inaendelea katika kaunti ile ya Kilifi South, ambapo tulikuwa tunaweza kuona kwamba vijana wale basi walikuwa wameweza kuapa kwamba hawatarudi kazi hadi pale pesa ambazo walikuwa wanadai waweze kulipwa. Na kwa sasa habari zimetufikia kwamba vijana sasa wamerejelea kazi, na kazi kwa sasa imekuwa shwari na inaendelea, wananchi wanaendelea kuhesabiwa kama ilivyotarajiwa. Shiksha.
Thank you very much, Fred Kai, for that. Of course, work is back as usual when it comes to enumerators in Kilifi County. So that's good news.
That's true. That is very good news coming forth from Mombasa. And also remember, from this venue, in just a matter of weeks, they will be hosting the ASK show, Mombasa County edition. And there has been preparation along those lines. So we shall be also interacting with our reporters to brief us on what exactly is happening on the ground in as far as preparations for this particular event is concerned. But for now, we need to go to Nyeri County and bring in our reporter Wahu Ngoge, who joins us live from Nyeri right about now to just tell us exactly what's happening. Wahu, thank you so much for joining us right about now. What's happening where you are?
Well, thank you very much, Sam. Today I have a lot. But if we manage to have them on air, we'll have them all. And actually, I'll start with the culture, just checking up on how culture is doing, and if people would like to the reintroduction of the FGM and all that stuff. Actually, I'll be catching up with Bishop KAG Nyeri County Wachira Karani in a few, and then after that we'll go to Mokoroini, where the residents of certain Ishamara village are complaining that their land has been grabbed by government officials. That one will still go into deeper, and then later in the course of the day we'll catch up with the former Teto MP. We'll just be discussing what is happening in the country, in the county, and all that stuff, and actually from there maybe we'll try to listen into what the residents of Njoroge County would say on the issue of FGM and the reintroduction of the culture of the Kikuyu culture. Sorry. So Sam, that's all I'm preparing right about now. But at around 10, I'll be with KAG Bishop Wachira Karani on the issue of culture and the reintroduction of Kikuyu culture. Sam?
Wahu, yesterday we saw Third Way Alliance table the Punguza Mzigo bill before the County Assembly of Nyeri. How exactly was it received? Wahu, if you can hear me, how was the Punguza Mzigo bill received by the Nyeri County Assembly?
Apparently that was yesterday, so I'm sorry I hadn't gotten that earlier. And they came yesterday, and the residents were present, the MCAs were present, but actually they had mixed feelings. And actually whoever said that the MCA rejected the Punguza Mizigo, I don't want to say that that was not true, but actually yesterday they were just listening to what they had. Now later they'll have a special sitting, or rather they'll have to sit down and decide what they want. But actually for now, some would say that the discussion went well. Ekuru Court answered all the questions, but actually from the MCAs and the Speaker of the county, they'll have to have a sitting again. Sam.
All right, thank you so much, Wahu Ngoge, for that update live from Nyeri County. We've had the leader of Third Way Alliance, that is Dr. Ekuru Aukot, actually pronounce himself on that particular matter, where he says that it was a bit premature for anyone to conclude that the bill was rejected by the Nyeri County Assembly because it is yet to be debated by the same forum. So we wait and see what exactly will be coming forth from Nyeri in as far as the Punguza Mzigo bill is concerned.
Right, of course. Apart from that, we also have an update on the census 2019. Now, we are on day 6. How's it going along? What's the process been like this past few days? And of course, we'll also be giving you more details regarding this. Now, if you haven't been counted yet, or in fact, if you have been counted where you are, why don't you get in touch with us on hashtag K24 Daily Brief. Tell us how this process has been for you, and we'll definitely be giving our viewers an update on the same.
And talking about an update from our viewers, when we return from the break that we are taking right about now, we shall begin by getting your feedback in as far as what's happening, where you are is concerned. So hashtag K24 Daily Brief is the place to be online at K24 TV, and also our SMS platform, that is 21222. But for now, we are taking a break. We return with that and much more in just a moment.
We'll be right back.